Well, welcome back. We're at Two Egrets Studio once again, thanks to Mike Garrigan. And today we are visiting with Banana Lazuli.
Hi.
And we're going to talk all about her, well, as much as we can fit in here. We don't have time to talk about all of you today, but we will get around to some good stuff. I wanted to start off, since I'm still getting to know you myself, with maybe you giving us a little bit of your personal history or bio.
Sure. Well, thanks, Kris, for having me. It's really awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mike Garrigan, for having us here, and Melody as well. So yeah, I'm originally from Montreal, born and raised, Montreal, Canada. And my mom's from Peru, and my dad's French-Canadian. So I grew up with like different cultural backgrounds. And I've moved around a little bit the past few years. After I finished grad school in Montreal, I moved down to Peru, and I was living there for about 6 months. And then I got together with my hubby, who was living in California at the time, and so I moved out to California and lived with him there for a year. And then he's originally from here in North Carolina, so we moved back here, and we've been here for a year. So now I'm exploring the North Carolina music scene.
Okay, so wait a minute. Canada, Peru, California, hubby. How did you and your hubby, where did that happen?
Oh, we met at Burning Man. It's a festival called Burning Man.
Oh, we're going to talk
Yeah,
about
we're gonna
that
talk
later.
about that
How
later.
coincidental. That's something I'm very curious about.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, obviously with Peru and French-Canadian backgrounds, I can see already where some of your musical influence might come from. But I'm always curious with artists about that moment along the way where it's like, this is what I want to do.
Oh, okay.
Did you have a moment like that?
Actually, I had a long struggle. There was no aha moment.
A long struggle. Okay.
Yeah, because I have different interests as well, like anthropology and linguistics, and different kinds of like scientific research, and I'm interested in all different genres of music too. So I think I struggled a lot before I decided what kind of music I wanted to make, or what was my voice, or what did that. I think it's been an ongoing process. I always wanted to be a musician since I was a child.
Like maybe you still haven't decided exactly even?
Yeah, it's like everything is influencing each other in the different. I'm dabbling in different areas.
But right, you're very active musically.
Right now,
you got a lot going on.
Right now, yeah, very active with the Banana Lazuli project. Yeah.
Okay. How much formal training have you had with music?
Oh, well, I studied classical piano from 8 years old until 16. And so I did my conservatory exams and stuff like that. And then I kind of abandoned it when I was 16. And then I was in a punk band for a little while. We were terrible. It was so bad. It was so, oh my gosh. And
I didn't know punk bands
band.
wanted to achieve like perfection.
Well, there was some politics. And so, yeah, then I was in a jazz band for a little while. And then my main, I think my main training for just in terms of like rhythms and harmonies and everything was I was in a funk band when I was in college for a year.
Really?
Afrobeat funk.
Wow.
And that was the best training I ever had,
Yeah.
for sure, in terms of musical training. Because I was just playing keyboards, and it was just super solid, just powerful, like we're a big band, usually around 7 players.
Would you call this like a top 40 or commercial music band, or was it original music?
Yeah, we had some originals. We did a few Fela Kuti covers as well.
Okay, that's a name I'm not familiar
Fela
with.
Kuti, yeah, okay,
Yes.
he's from Africa.
Okay.
And he has a lot of just amazing, he's kind of the pioneer of the Afrobeat funk music, so yeah.
Well, this is a good lead into what I had as my next question, and that is musical influences. Obviously, you have what appears to be a lot of influences.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, different.
Yeah. Now, your mother was Peruvian, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Was she musical at all? Did she bring something to the table?
Well, she, not exactly, but she had a kind of aha moment in the last 8 years or so, where she's become a tango dancer recently.
Okay.
And so that really influenced my house a lot, because now she only listens to tango music at home. Well, she likes other kinds of music.
Right.
And but it's like just tango heaven in our house back home in Canada. So she's always going to tango events and, you know, dancing several times a week. And she goes to Argentina every year. And so she's like dancing up the storm. And so that big influx of tango has influenced some of my songs.
I was just going to say, when it's rolling around in your head,
sure,
you almost can't help that it comes back out in your songwriting, right?
Yeah, totally. And I've learned some pieces for her just so I could play them for her.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that in a while, but I've done some Astor Piazzolla pieces, which is a tango legend. And my dad actually just recently started up the saxophone again. After having left it for a few years, he's back playing saxophone. So he's always been, you know, really into jazz and world music ever since I was a kid. So I grew up listening to a lot of world music.
Yeah, it was a musical household in one form or another. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely appreciation for the.
But what about I don't want to say mentors, idols, or bands or performers? You have some of those that are really special to you? Yeah,
for sure. The first performer that I really became obsessed with was Tori Amos. She's a vocalist singer, and I got introduced to her by a fellow piano student, like the boy who was studying piano, who had lessons before me for many years.
Yes.
He introduced me to Tori Amos's music when I was around 12 years old, and then so I really, really got hooked onto her for, you know, probably 8 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And then I sort of stopped listening to her at a certain point, and but, you know, when I was young, I had, you know, got a big obsession with Tori Amos, Radiohead, Bjork, and you know, a lot of other artists that were, you know, popular in the late 90s, early 2000s and stuff like that. And then there's also a really influential singer from Montreal. Her name is Lhasa De'sela, and she sings in Spanish and French and English. And she died 2 years ago at a young age, but she's very, very influential in Montreal, influencing, like, you know, a whole generation of vocalists. For sure. She's amazing. So I'm a big fan of hers.
Again, there's a lot of flavors there.
Yeah.
The multicultural feel is all through your life, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And even, well, Lhasa De'sela, even her music was totally her own unique, is kind of inspired by Mexican music. She has a Mexican background, and world music, pop music, Spanish guitar, a lot of different things. But she was actually, I heard just recently in an interview with her, she was actually obsessed with Radiohead too, which I found interesting because Radiohead influenced so many people. Like,
well, Tori Amos has come up a lot too, especially with several of the female artists that I've been talking to lately, that she seems to be very influential.
Yeah, Tori Amos is really powerful for her poetry and her piano skills and just like her presence, you know, and like kind of exploring these avant-garde topics and stuff. She's really cool.